Now let us take a look at the shift in perception of the personnel management role. When I say perception, it's a perception of the management and the stakeholders as to what is the personnel department doing in an organization. There has always been a debate as to how the personnel department contributes to the bottom line of an organization. What is the real value that they add to the organization? As you can see this picture, the business strategy and culture, the function, product market strategies, line management and employees are on one side of the chart, whereas the personnel management function is on the other side of the chart. There has always been a disconnect in how the personnel management role is viewed in the organization. It has always been a support function, but now there is a demand for alignment of the personnel management function with the rest of the business. As you can see, the direct lines, which means they are completely in sync, and this is our dotted lines with advisory role. So there is a shift in how it is viewed in the modern times. As you mentioned, there is a shift in perspective. What are the reasons for the shift and why HR has to gear up for the battles ahead? Now, changing organizational forms. With the increasing technological changes and the boundaries are rapidly disappearing and shrinking, HR needs to adapt itself to the changing organizational forms. We have virtual teams, so HRM needs to get up to a plan to tackle to this concept. And employer brands. Gone are the days when people were looking just for a job. Now they take pride in where I work. So employers are pitching themselves as brands. So HRM has to align with this objective of the organization in pitching the employer as a brand in the marketplace. Empowering workers. Now, workers in this era should be empowered to take decisions, and your HR practices should be in line to empower the workers. Now, information communication technology. This is the single most reason for the drastic changes in the business workplace. So HR needs to transform itself to cope up with this kind of drastic speed at which business is developing. Moving on. Now, what are the characteristics of HRM? Now, you should aim for a strategic fit or integration between HR and business planning. They cannot act in isolation. Your business plan and HR plans should sync for the overall benefit of the organization. That is what we call a strategic fit. Now, HR policies and practices again should be in total sync with your business objectives. Say if a business wants to operate by 24/7, what is the HR policy which supports the 24/7 functioning? So if there is a disconnect, then HR fails. So HR policies and procedures should be in total alignment with your business goals. Commitment, the end result, what every company tries to achieve is, obviously one is profit and the other one is total commitment of employees. Now, when the employees identify themselves with the organization's objectives, that is true success. So how to bring about that commitment in the employees? And treatment of people as assets. This is not just a rhetoric. Companies have to start treating people as assets, as valuable resources, because when they walk out of the door in the evening at 5 in the traditional way, what is stopping them from returning the next day? So when we analyze this, it is only the motivation which makes them come back. So you start treating people as assets. Now, there was a unitarist approach to employee relations. Gone are the days when we used to think that employer and employee were two different ends of the spectrum. No, unitarist approach suggests that employer and employee is the same and we are achieving results because of this cooperation. Now, responsibility of line management. How far do line managers play a role in the development of HR practices and the development of people? So moving on. So deriving from the previous slide, what are the 4 key policy goals of HRM? HRM should strive for a strategic integration between all levels, starting from the management level right down to the employees level. That should be a vertical fit and a horizontal fit, and there should be uniformity to achieve high commitment levels of the workforce. Flexibility. Now, HRM in this modern era should strive to achieve flexibility in the work practices as well as in the employee procedures and policies, because flexibility is the key to survival. High quality. Now, as we mentioned, flexibility is the key to survival. High quality is also one of the reasons why you will survive in the marketplace, because without quality your customer is not going to be satisfied, and which in turn leads to your reduced business levels. So these are the 4 policy goals of HRM. 21st century HRM, let's take a look at the business partner model. These are 4 quadrants on how HR plays different roles within an organization. There's processes, there's strategic, people and operational. These are the 4 quadrants available for you, and HR acts as strategic partner, HR acts as change agent, HR acts as administrative experts when it comes to your day-to-day operations of payroll, benefits administration or compliance management. HR as employee champions falls into the 4th quadrant. Moving on. Now, there is an ongoing debate about HRM, so let us look at what are the issues being discussed. Is HRM in practice really different from personnel management, or is it just old wine in new bottle? Second, is HRM a fair and ethical way to manage people? And third, does it really make a difference to organizational performance? Now, critics of the first point say that HRM is nothing but the same old control method, it's just using a new terminology. But whatever the critics say, there is a development in which way the people are viewed as assets, and the development of HR workplace practices suggests that there is definitely an improvement, and it is still improving. Is HRM a fair and ethical way of managing people? Yes, it is. Say the supporters of HRM saying that. HRM strives to give equal treatment and to reduce all kinds of discrimination against people, thus making a better workplace. To answer the third question, organizations now do believe with strong people practices they can surge forward in their business goals, and it makes a lot of difference to their bottom line. Moving on. So what is the role and function of the HRM function? Now, operational tasks and activities. When it comes to organization, designing jobs in the organization, outlining the tasks, outlining the departments, that's the first and foremost function or the task of HRM when it comes to organization. Second most is human resource planning and resourcing. What are the recruitment strategies? What is the external labor market condition? And what are the methods that you're going to adopt in selection? So to strike a balance in your recruitment policies. Third comes performance management, which you outline and set the objectives which the employees need to follow and achieve. You monitor and review their progress and ensure they are in line with the performance objectives of the organization. Reward management. How do you reward people who achieve success in the organization? What is the way forward for them? How do you make out a career for them? In human resource development, what are the training needs of the organization? What are the skill gaps, the deficiencies that you find within the organization, how it can be bridged? This is one key area of HRM. Health, safety and welfare. It is another important dimension of HR officer, concentrating on the health, welfare and safety, because you have a whole host of legislations which control the operational span of an organization, saying that health, safety is of paramount importance to the society. Employee relations and HR services. Again, in day-to-day activities, helping out employee queries and giving them the HR services completes the list of HR tasks. Now, if you see the roles of HR management, they start with the guidance role, acting as advisors within an organization, then moving into the advisory role in day-to-day activities, and they have the service role. Then move on to the controls and auditing role, just to ensure that the systems and processes are working in alignment with the business objectives and as per the directions from the management and the external legislative measures. Moving on, the planning and organizing role. They plan and organize all the activities which are related to the human resource function for a better functioning of the organization.